It is amazing to see what's happening in my country today. It kind of reminds me of the 60s. This is not the first time we had an uprising in America as we're having today. We had it with the fake so-called civil rights movement. We've had it over the years with different things. So it's not the first time. And it reminds me of that. Our battle is a spiritual battle, folks. A warfare between good and evil. Right versus wrong. Good versus evil. Right versus wrong. So some of you know that yesterday in Washington, D.C., they were supposed to certify the Electoral College votes yesterday, and they did last night, I believe. And there are a whole lot of Trump supporters who went there to support the Great White Hope. The Great White Hope.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
That's from the Great White Hope to y'all. It's interesting that came up right now. He appreciates the support. Thank you. God bless y'all, and God bless America. So according to, this is from Reuters, yesterday, as the Electoral College votes were being certified by Congress, protesters stormed Capitol Hill. And there was supposed to be, there's a whole bunch of folks there to support the president. Amazing. This man, the Great White Hope, is well loved. He is loved by Americans. I'll have my experts in at the bottom of this hour, at least two of them, to discuss yesterday's event as far as what they saw by way of TV or however they saw it. And but the folks love the president. They love, as I do, the Great White Hope. Thank God for the Great White Hope. This is from Breitbart. As you know, some of the Republicans' representatives were supposed to go there yesterday and challenge the vote, to make a statement, to challenge it, the Electoral College and everything that happened. But because they are right on Republicans and they are cowards, they backed down, they backed out, they didn't do it. And this is just another sign of the Republican Party is over. Because if the president is not there, there is no Republican Party. The only reason that the Republican Party existed for this last 4 years is because of the Great White Hope. Because the rhinos, as we all know, the Republican representatives, they are no different than the Democrats. They're cowards. They're not going to stand for anything. And I believe personally they go along with the Democrats because they are there for the power, so-called power, and wealth, money. It's not about the people anymore. It is not about the people anymore. The Republicans, we already know the Democrats are not about the people, but the Republicans are not either. So even that woman Loeffler from Georgia said that after she realized she had not won the election down in Georgia, re-election, she the runoff or whatever was happening down there. She went up on the stage and said, "Oh, I'm going to go to D.C. and I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to represent the people. I'm going to challenge the Electoral College votes." And she lied. She did not do that. She lied to the folks of Georgia. She went there and she didn't do it. Also, from Breitbart, Senator Johnson, Langford, Daines, Blackburn, Barnes, Haggerty, and Loeffler, they all of whom had pledged to join the election challenge, abandoned their pledge and voted not to sustain the objection to the election results. They're liars. The Republicans are liars. The Republican voters, our representatives, are liars. They lied to the people. They're rhinos. And in spite of these rhinos, the president has done an amazing job for this country. Not only did this president have to fight against his own party, people in the party supposed to be working with him are working against him. The Democratic Party, the media, everybody. One or two stuck with him, but most did not. And yet, he endured. We should be grateful for that. This man, the great white hope, Donald Trump, is a perfect example of how we all should be, especially as men. The rhinos are no good. Rhino Republicans will not represent you. They are afraid to even call out Black Lives Matter. They'll call out Antifa. They will call out other white groups, but they will not call out Black Lives Matter. So, short of a miracle from God, your country is doomed. It's doomed. Short of a miracle, and God always sent us help when we need it, but short of that, it's over for America. And so there were some people who stormed the Capitol yesterday. 4 people died, according to this report. Let me see what that's from Reuters. 4 people died, 3 from medical complications, and 1 female was shot by Capitol Hill police. That's from Reuters. Here is a full view of the moment the protester made it past the police. This is from TikTok. You remember we've been going through this all year. The attack from Antifa, mob justice, right? All year burning and robbing and stealing. The attack from the so-called Black Lives Matter, one of the worst organizations on this side of heaven, worse than the KKK, make the KKK look like angels. Stealing, breaking in stores and businesses, stealing washing machines, and at least one person that I know of was killed, was reported, a black police officer who had retired, I believe. Nothing said about the media about that, and from Congress or any of those people. Nothing said, right? Nothing said, peaceful protest, they call it. Even though they were burning, robbing, stealing, killing. And when Officer David Dorn died on the streets, he was out of Missouri. Nothing was done. Nothing was said. But they have this yesterday in D.C. Chuck Schumer compared the event from yesterday to Pearl Harbor. This is from C-SPAN. Watch this.
President, it is very, very difficult to put into words what has transpired today. I have never lived through or even imagined an experience like the one we have just witnessed in this Capitol. President Franklin Roosevelt set aside December 7th, 1941, as a day that will live in infamy. Unfortunately, we can now add January 6th, 2021, to that very short list of dates in American history that will live forever in infamy. This temple to democracy was desecrated, its windows smashed, our offices vandalized. The world saw Americans' elected officials hurriedly ushered out because they were in harm's way. The House and Senate floors were places of shelter until the evacuation was ordered, leaving rioters to stalk these hallowed halls.
Well, amazing, right? But not the whole year. This year, 2020, the attacks upon America from Black Lives Matter and Antifa, burning, looting. I wonder when the people who worked there in Congress, wherever they were, Senate, when they was hiding under their desk, I wonder did they take a moment to realize, oh, this must be the way the people felt and have been feeling in the country all year when their businesses were being burned down, when their merchandise were being stolen, when they were fighting in the streets, when they were yelling, what do we want? Dead cops, when do we want it now? I wonder, do they feel this way? Were they as afraid as we are right now? Were they concerned about their lives and their businesses? Did they feel what we feel hiding under the desk? I wonder if that crossed their mind when they ignored what was happening to the American people. I wonder if he said that or claimed that the cops acted softly on Black Lives Matter and Antifa when they were burning, robbing, stealing, and killing, when they were invading the government, when they were marking stupid things like Black Lives Matter on cops' cars and streets and things like that. And no one did a thing. Instead, the cops kneeled and bowed down to Black Lives Matter. I wondered out loud, did Joe Scarborough claim Capitol Hill police acted softly with those people? This is from MSNBC. Watch this.
If these insurrectionists were black, they would have been shot in the face. And my God, if these insurrectionists were Muslim, they would have been sniped from the top of buildings. So I want to know from the Capitol Hill police, what is it? Is it just white people? Or is it Donald Trump supporters? Why do you scream at people for walking across the street 3 blocks away from the Capitol? Why are you known as badasses around the Capitol? But then Trump supporters come in and you open the fucking doors for them. Oh my God. You open the doors for them and let them breach the people's house. What is wrong with you?
Did you hear that type of fake anger from Joe Scarborough any other time this year when Black Lives Matter were burning, looting, stealing, killing, attacking cops, destroy graffiti in the streets, tearing down monuments and statues. Did you hear Joe Scarborough screaming out then? I never thought that I would see today in America when the people who founded the greatest country in this world, America, there's someone by the name of Tammy Duckworth, a Democrat from Illinois. This fake female held back tears, fake tears, while condemning the president. Watch this.
I have spent my entire adult life defending our democracy, but I never thought it would be necessary to defend it from an attempted violent overthrow in our nation's own Capitol building. I have no tea to throw in Boston Harbor tonight.
Well, you
and I
dragged it all.
regret that I have no rucksack to pack for my country, no Black Hawk to pilot. From the service members at Fort Huachuca and Marine Corps Air Station Yuma to the marchers who bent America's moral arc a bit more towards justice with every single step that they took, then ask yourself whether the democracy they were willing to bleed for, the country that each of us in this chamber has sworn to defend, is worth damaging in order to protect the porcelain ego of a man who treats the Constitution as if it were little more than a yellowing piece of paper. I think we all know the right answer.
Majority Leader.
Did she shed tears when Black Lives Matter were marching in the streets? What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it? Now? And the blacks went out and started killing cops? Did this woman, this female, shed tears then? Did she condemn Obama for inviting them to the White House rather than having them arrested? This, here's another poor example. A Black Lives Matter activist, a female by the name of Cori Bush, a Democrat from Missouri. Is that right? From Missouri, said that the events were due to white supremacists. This is from Breitbart.
And had it been people who look like me, had it been the same amount of people, but had they been black and brown, we wouldn't have made it up those steps. We wouldn't have made it to be able to get into the door and bust windows and go put our feet up on desks of Congress members. We wouldn't have made it that far. We would have been shot. Yeah. We would have been tear gas. We would rubber bullets. That would have happened before we made it there. We need to call it what it is. It's white supremacy. It was white privilege, and it was the call of our president. And it was encouraged by our Republican colleagues. And that is why every single one of them, especially because they have been the ones trying to steal this election, that's why we are calling for them to be removed. They should not be seated.
Amazing, right? These people are going to walk all over the Rhino Republicans. They are. They're going to squash them because the Rhinos are not going to disagree with that evil woman. She was lying. She's a Black Lives Matter activist, and she just lied, and no one is going to correct it. Back in a moment. I remember them burning police precincts, and nothing happened. They took over Portland and Seattle, Washington. Nothing done. Intimidating the neighborhoods. And not only did they take over the police precincts, they took over more than one. Nobody did nothing. Defund the cops. Okay. A lot of cops are leaving their posts because of Black Lives Matter. Nothing being done by it. She's lying. And they act like you forget or something. Like we don't remember that. The people are so dumb they won't remember. The protesters invaded Capitol Hill October 2018 to protest Kavanaugh. This is from Breitbart. Just a reminder and show you how this woman is such a liar. And don't even mind. She doesn't mind lying. Here's that soundbite. Nothing. They were just dancing and having fun. May God have mercy upon our country, upon my country. The president made a statement yesterday, and it goes something like this. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election, and the facts bear me out. Nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I've always said we would continue our fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted. Only legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again. That's from the Great White Hope. It's mind-blowing. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.